Kevin Harvick really tried to outdo the Chase Elliott, Bill Elliott, dad-son moment with Keelan, but he lost. He can't. You can't top that one. You can't top Chase and Bill. It's pretty difficult. Just that people are gonna have their opinions on that. Still a pretty cool moment for Kevin Harvick and his son Keelan. If you didn't see it, look it up. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you. Kevin Harvick, when he won, he said that his son Keelan had been pushing for, if he won, he wanted to get the checkered flag and take a lap in the car, or not drive the car, but be in the car while it was going around. So he got to do that. That's the sum up. But getting into the race here, here's the race recap for Michigan, the whatever it was called, 400, the Consumers, whatever. I missed the pure Michigan 400 though. But I'm not here to talk about awesome names, folks. I'm here to recap the race and tell you how I feel about what things that happened, tell you what happened, how it happened, and what it impacts. And then I'll give you a bubble watch at the end of the video. The playoff bubble watch and other stuff. That's what the video is going to be about. So during the pace laps, Todd Gordon, crew chief of Joe Logano, was like, come down pit road. We got an issue. They had to change to the left front shock. There was something wrong with it. They didn't like what they saw, whatever. So Logano had to give up his starting spot, which was pretty good, I think. I think he qualified in the top 10. And they had to go to the back with Swerves, who wrecked during qualifying. Man, poor Logano. He still rallied back for the top 10, but still, that sucks for them. They had a good car, and they had to start in the back. There were a decent amount of spins in this race. Eric Jones spun pretty early. I think it was less than 10 laps into the race. Then a couple of laps later after the restart, William Byron went up the track a little bit, made contact with Martin Truex Jr. They both spun. Byron hit the wall and got some damage. Truex was able to downshift mid-spin and accelerate so that he didn't hit the wall, but he also didn't hit anyone else. That was very impressive. Go watch the in-car camera of that. That was very cool. Byron, not so much. He destroyed the back of the car and finished 36th. So, Ryan Newman, he had like a brake line issue and he spun out. Jones spun out again. He made contact with Ryan Blaney and spun out. Blaney basically forced him out of the groove and back in, stepped out. He spun out. So yeah. But that was pretty much the action. Ty Dillon, yeah, he crashed too. He ran over a giant piece of debris which blew up the engine and ended his day. He crashed into the wall. It was very similar to what happened to Chase Elliott in the 2017 Coca-Cola 600. He just ran over a giant piece of debris. It broke something in the car, like an oil cooler or radiator, something. It broke something important and it blew up the engine and smoke started coming out. It slowed the car down. Ty Dillon, he smacked the wall. Chase Elliott, it slowed his car down and he got rear-ended by Brad Keselowski. But, Ty Dillon just ran it over and then killed the car. They don't know what he ran over. They think it was a piece from a different car, but they're not sure. I haven't heard anything. If you have heard something, put it in the comments. I'm very interested to know what he ran over. They think it was a battery. Like the whole freaking battery was on the track. I don't know how they missed that. Larson swerved to avoid it. Good job, Larson. Moving on. There was some good racing throughout the race. So there was a lot of single file at times. Stretching out, Harvick dominated the race, led 108 of the 200 laps. But there was one point where Jimmy Johnson stayed out on two tires. They were 3 wide for the lead going into turn 3. It was Hamlin, Kyle Busch, and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson decided to back out of it because he was on 2 tires and he didn't want to risk it. He can't take a bad points day. I'll talk more about Jimmy Johnson later. He led 13 laps today, so that was good for him. But, Kyle Busch was ahead, and then Truex was able to get around them both, and then Harvick was. And strategy. Something happened, and I'm pretty sure it was strategy. I didn't see the race live, so I had to go watch it through recording, and I might have skipped through parts of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I didn't watch all 200 laps, guys. I'm really sorry, but I'm trying to give you my best recap. But Truex, he let Kevin Harvick by because they knew they couldn't make it on fuel to the end of the stage. And Truex ran half field at literally the worst time. You cannot pit with 2 laps to go in the stage or later, just due to the fact so you can't do strategy stuff. It's a rule. And Truex ran out of fuel with 2 laps to go in the stage and had to pit illegally. So they went ahead, they did the whole thing, 4 tires, fuel. They went a lap down. I think they got penalized, which sucked for them because they had a pretty decent car. The spins definitely hurt them earlier, but then they were able to recover with the strategy call. But that strategy call led to another issue. So Truex did not get a playoff point. Kevin Harvick won both the stages. That was stage 2, by the way. Sorry, I'm not being very clear, but that was the end of stage 2. Harvick won both stages. It was all Kevin Harvick today. Kevin Harvick just freaking dominated everything. So we're going to go through the finishing order here, and then we're going to get to the bubble watch. It's a fun part for me to talk about, the bubble watch and playoffs and all that fun stuff. But Kevin Harvick won. He got all possible points, all 60 of them. Won both stages in the race. He led 108 laps out of 200. Keselowski finished second. Kyle Busch finished third. He led 22 laps on the day. Good day for him, but he did not get any playoff points, so tough day for him. Austin Dillon had a very good day. I said in my race preview, I said, he could be a surprise to contend for a top 5. I didn't know he could go for a top 5. I said top 10, whatever. He was able to get a top 5. But, that's a really impressive run for that team. They've not been running well this year. They're like 19th, 20th in points. So it's been a rough year for them other than the Daytona 500 win. They were able to lead a few laps, but, they were running second at the end there. They had a tire issue, so they had to just kind of roll it around, just kind of limp it to the finish, and they lost 2 positions to finish 4th. It was a flat tire or loose wheel. I'm not sure. Once again, if you know, put it in the comments. 5th, Ryan Blaney. He had a really good car. He had a top 5 run all day. He was running top 5. My race pick, Kurt Busch, ended up 6th. Good day for that team. They keep on racking up points, man. They keep on having these good points days. They just can't get a win. Eric Almirola, good points day for him. 7th place. He got a few stage points. Denny Hamlin, the pole sitter. He led 13 laps, and he ended up with an 8th place finish. In his 100th career start, a week after his first career win, Chase Elliott finishes 9th. So in his 100th start, he got his number. That's where he finished, 9th. 10th was Joey Logano. As I said, he was able to rally around, get a top 10 finish. He also led 1 lap. Swervez, who started in the back, 11th. 12th, Clint Boyer. 13th, Eric Jones. 14th, Martin Truex Jr. He led 25 laps on the day. 15th, Ryan Newman. He after that spin, they were able to play some strategy. They could not stretch the fuel 60 laps. That's absurd. But they pitted with about 12 to go. They led 12 laps during the day during that run. 16th, Paul Menard. 17th, Kyle Larson. 18th, Stenhouse. 19th, Bowman. He disappointed me. I really thought he was going to do better. I think the strategy got him, and I don't know. But he had a good car through part of the race, and then he just didn't. I think he scraped the wall, too. He scraped the wall at one point, which sucked. 20th, Chris Buescher. 21st, Jamie McFlurry. He led 1 lap. 22nd, AJ Allmendinger. 23rd, Bubba Wallace. 24th, Matt DiBarito. 25th, Michael McDowell. 26th, Casey Kane. 27th, David Reagan. 28th was Jimmy Johnson. He had a loose wheel with 6 to go, as I just said. Sucks for that team. They led 13 laps on the day, had a top 15 car, and they cannot take the points hit, as I'll tell you about later. Man, that team could not take that kind of points hit. But 29th, Landon Castle. Good for him. Top 29. Good. That's like legit, for real. Good for him. I like him. I like Landon Castle. He deserves a better ride. Blake Jones finished 30th. 31st, BJ McLeod. 31st. That's pretty good for him. 32nd, Garrett Smithley. 33rd, Greg Galding. 34th, Trevor Bayne. Trevor Bayne continues to disappoint NASCAR ever since that day in February in 2011. Happy birthday, Trevor Bayne, 20 years old. 35th, Ross Chastain. 36th after that wreck would be William Byron. 37th would be the GOAT, Timmy Hill. 38th, Ty Dillon. 39th, Jeffrey Earnhardt. 40th, Corey LaJoie. Moving on to the bubble watch. If you want some really weird stats, like the stuff I talk about a lot, Like lap sledding this season, stage wins, playoff points, top 10s, top 5s, DNFs. If you want all that stuff, just go to NASCAR.com or the NASCAR app. Honestly, it's got all this stuff. Like, that's where I was able to get all the lap sled stuff about Chase Elliott, Hendrick Motorsports a few weeks ago when I made that video. It's all on NASCAR app, on the iPad at least. But just wanted to tell you that if you cared. But on to the Bubble Watch. The Bubble Watch. Playoff standings. Locked into the playoffs. Kevin Harvick with 40 playoff points. Kyle Busch, 35 playoff points. Martin Truex Jr., 27 playoff points. Clint Boyer, 10 playoff points. Chase Elliott, 8 playoff points. He's locked in with that win at Watkins Glen. Woohoo. 6th is Joey Logano with 7 playoff points. 7th, Eric Jones with 5 playoff points. Austin Dillon locked in with 5 playoff points in that win at the Daytona 500. Moving on to the points. I'm going to do my normal. Going to do my pretty safe, or my safe, my decently safe, pretty safe, whatever you want to call it, and my you better watch out because here comes trouble. So, very safe. We've got Kurt Busch, 270 above the cut line. Brad Keselowski, 229 above the cut line. Ryan Blaney, 204 above the cut line. Denny Hamlin, 204 above the cut line. Kyle Larson, 201 above the cut line. Larson, he's been having a rough little bit. Last week at Watkins Glen, he got 6th, but this week at one of his best tracks, he got 17th. It's disappointing. Disappointing, Larson. Good grief. In the pretty safe, I'd say Eric Almirola. A couple bad races, and maybe someone else has a good race he could get out, but I don't see that happening. I see him in the playoffs. And also, on the border of hot, or not hot, but on the border of not making it and pretty safe. I don't know how to say this. He's on the border of pretty safe and whatever's under pretty safe. Jimmy Johnson, he's 92 points above. He's had a rough year in general. Every year of his career, I think, he's won multiple races. He has yet to win a race this year, and he's 15th right now in the grid. 16th is Alex Bowman. He's the one with most concern, 62 points above. If he can keep that points gap, he locks himself in by Indianapolis because, the most points you can get is 60 and the least amount you can get is 1. So he just needs to say 60 above. That's all he's got to do to lock himself in, assuming there's not a new winner, of course. What do I think is going to happen? That's what I've been saying the last few weeks, honestly. I think it stays like this. I mean, standings within these 16 could change, but the best shot I see for someone winning is Ricky Stenhouse next week at Bristol. That's one of his best tracks statistically, and he even says so himself. Or Daniel Suarez, the momentum that he's been able to build with a 2nd at Pocono, a 4th at Watkins Glen, and having to start in the back today and moving his way all the way up to 11th. He had a top 10. He could have had a top 10 run, but they've been getting some momentum. So maybe if they're able to get a win, those are your 2 best shots at an outsider winning. In my opinion, I don't see Ryan Newman winning unless they make a bold strategy call. Paul Menard's got the equipment. It's just a matter of they can get the track position, the qualifying. It just all depends on that stuff. Even someone like William Byron, I think it'll be difficult for them to win. Jamie McMurray, all those guys from 20th on down, I just don't see them winning. It'll be really difficult for them, but I think, as I said, your best shots from an outsider to win in, Stenhouse at Bristol or Daniel Suarez momentum to keep building, he ends up winning. But, that's all I got for today. There was your race recap. Kind of iffy, but, I try my best. If I mess something up, put it in the comments. I tried to give my best take on it. I think I did. I give my bubble watch. I'm just kind of blurting random stuff now, so I'm just going to cut this video. Thank you for watching. Here's more of my stuff. Yeah, right here. You can subscribe right here. Right there. Thank you for watching. This has been another race recap, and thank you for watching.